there are two ways I think you can look at LinkedIn. Either just grow the numbers of connections and likes and call it a day, right? Because it's sort of like, oh, you're a popular person and you have a lot of links, like you have a lot of connections and people like you. Or you can look at it from another perspective, that you're building actual meaningful connections with people. A lot of the conversations actually happen either in the comments because it's engaging content, or it happens in the direct messages, right? One thing that frustrates me about people who are creating content on LinkedIn is when they just making their post, it gets some traction, and it's just a one-way street. Because if you're coming in with the mission of, I'm going to create connections with people, I'm going to build up my brand, well, it has to be a two-way street there. Because if I'm creating content, I'm posting it there, and then all three of you come on and you give your insight or your thoughts into it, or encouragement or support or whatever, and I never respond to it, then it's kind of like discouraging for you, right? Because then you're like, well, I'm just not going to be that supportive of her content or engaging and spending my time putting thoughtful things in there if you're never going to respond to it. And I think there's a certain time where this is feasible, right? There are plenty of people out there who have tons of engagement on their content. I mean, they would be another full-time job for them if they just were in their comments responding to everyone. But I think we're not coming from that perspective right now. We're coming from a perspective of, you're trying to build out your network, you're trying to make meaningful connections, you're trying to get that traction and connections going. So part of your responsibility then, if you are creating content, is to respond to that to a certain level. And then when, you know, if we talk from a year from now and you have hundred thousands of followers and a lot of connections and you have so much engagement on your content, it's going to be a different conversation, right? You're not going to come from that perspective of, yeah, I have to engage with every single one, because if you did, then you wouldn't have your job in marketing.